Hey, you. Yeah, you. You gotta stop living in fear. I mean, like, you know you want to post your talent on social media. Like, you know you want the world to see how talented you are. But you're living in fear. So you hold that talent back because you are afraid of what the world is going to think about you. Like, it's not even about what people think about you. It's about what you think about you. You stop living in fear. I mean, fear, it causes insecurity. You'll never be what you want to be in life if you living in fear, if you're scared to do it. If you're scared of people going to judge you, so what if people judge you? Everybody get judged. So you might as well just be yourself and accept yourself. The reason why y'all living in fear because y'all can't accept y'allself. You know you want to put that business on social media that nobody ever put out before. You know what I'm saying? Because you different. You that different talent that's going to come into the world. Stop living in fear. I mean, fear it's negative on the mind. It gives you a scarcity mindset. Stop living in fear. Yeah, you sis, the one that want to put that new makeup line out on social media, or your new, you could do eyebrows. You scared to put that on social media. Put it out. You got to stop living in fear and stop worrying about what people thinking about you. It don't matter what they think. They can't live for you. Yeah, you, bruh. That's scared. You scared to, put that rap talent out there, that poetry out there. Stop living in fear, man. I mean, fear is it's all in the mind. That's what it is. When you living in fear, you gotta stop living in fear. I used to, when I was in school, I used to live in fear because when I didn't know something, I was afraid to raise my hand because nobody else had their hand up. Because I didn't want to feel that I was the only one that was dumb or didn't know. But I realized that a lot of people didn't know. But I was living in fear. You know what I'm saying? One thing about that is when you a foolish person, they're not gonna raise their hand and ask no question. They'd rather be a fool for the rest of their life. But a wise person, he only a fool for 10 minutes because he's gonna raise his hand and ask for that question so he can be ahead of the game. A lot of times, you're not the only one that don't know. But in your mind, you the only one that's in the boat. That's why you live in fear, because it's all a mindset. You afraid of what people gonna think about you. It ain't about what people think about you. You gotta be yourself. You gotta learn to love yourself. You gotta have confidence. Because fear, it's gonna stop you in the long run. You ain't gonna be able to reach your goals if you living in fear. You gotta quit worrying about what people think. You gotta be that light of the world. You gotta make sure that you the one that people is admiring, looking up to. Fear it's just what you think psychologically. That's that scarcity mindset. You got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of that, man. That's not going to do you no good. Living in fear. Some of y'all afraid to even go outside y'all front door and walk around y'all neighborhood. You know why? You think something going to get you, right? Yeah. I used to think that because I used to live in fear, But when I found out who I really was, And I know what I'm capable of, and I've gained that strength as a man. Not physically, not weights, nah. Mentally, psychologically. You know? You gotta be the type of person that's like, you gotta think like this. I'm in control of the environment around me. You know? That's how you gotta think. You can't think that everything is in control of you. Nah. It's gonna put you in that scarcity mindset. You're gonna be living in fear. Be yourself at all times. You got to. You know what I'm saying? I know fear, when that fear sets in, it might give you anxiety. But you have to overcome that fear. And how you going to overcome that fear is taking that first step. See, that first step is what you're afraid to take in life. And I know that because I was that person. I was afraid to take that first step. Yeah. Future YouTuber. Yeah, you. I know you want to post on YouTube, but you're afraid of the comment section. You're afraid of the dislike button. Forget that. It don't matter what they think. You know? I look at the world like this. The universe is too big for no one to like me. So, if this person don't like me or if that person don't like me, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because I like me. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters, man. Stop living in fear. I know some of y'all afraid of, let's use something as an example. You afraid of, you want to be a swimmer, but you're afraid to take that first jump into the water. Maybe you're not a good swimmer, but you're afraid to get in the water. Maybe you can't swim at all. But hey, you have to try. It's all about trying, man. Take that first step. Stop living in fear. Don't let fear set in. You gotta be dominant. You gotta take control of your life. You gotta be that dominant person. You gotta be that main source of resource in your family. You have to make that and create that generational wealth. Stop living in fear. Fear is not going to get you nowhere, man. You got to be yourself at all times. At all times. I know you want to stay in that new rod wave, you during class, but when you walking through classes in high school, I'm not going to tell you to do it during class, but you might think of, how people are going to perceive you, but you can sing though. You can sing, but you're living in fear. You scared to put that talent out there. You scared to go to the military. You think everything is just combat. Nah, man. See, a lot of things that we think is not necessarily what it's going to be, but that scarcity mindset, us living in fear. It causes us to, come up with all these different conclusions of, what if this happened? What if that happened? I don't care what happens. At least I took that first step. See, fear, when you live in fear, psychologically, you think you start to think, what if I take this first step of my success and I fail? So? You know how many billionaires had failed that first step? That first investment or whatever, they failed, but they kept going. Because you know why? They didn't let fear stop them. They overcame fear. They became that dominant force. You know what I'm saying? They had that mindset of you know what? I am the man. I am that woman. I am that king. I am that queen. And I'm going to dominate everything around me. And I'm going to stay on top. Stop living in fear, man. Fear will put you in a depressed state. Fear will put you at a lower vibration. You don't want that lower vibration. You want a high vibration. So you have to think positive. when you're going into towards your goals, when you're going into something new. You always got to think positive. You know what I'm saying? Think positive about your life. I know it's something new that you're going into, but guess what? You took that first step. You ahead of the game because you refuse to live in fear. You know, you didn't sit back and wonder, well, what if this happened? What if that happened? All those negative thoughts. Nah, you just went. You just went. You didn't let that fear stop you. You have to stop living in fear. Yeah, you, beautiful girl that want to be a model, put yourself out there on Instagram. You know, you never know what could happen. Put yourself out there. Stop living in fear. Yeah, you, bruh. You want to be that next doctor? I know it's going to take long years, but take that chance. You only got one life. Take that chance now. Stop living in fear of what's going to happen during class, or if you're going to pass this class or you're going to pass that class. Man, don't worry about none of that. Just keep going. Don't live in fear. I hope y'all can get this message, man, because fear, it'll stop you in your tracks. And that's what most people, they don't become successful because they're living in fear. They're afraid of what the world gonna think. They're afraid of, nobody's gonna accept me. Nobody's gonna accept them. But you gotta stop caring about that, man. You gotta care about what you want, because you only live once. So, hey, just like Eminem said, you only get one shot. Do not miss a chance to blow. It's just opportunity once in a lifetime. It might be that opportunity once in a lifetime. So take it. Take it now while you got a chance. Stop living in fear, man. Fear it just puts you in this state of mind of you just don't feel confident in yourself. You got to feel confident in yourself, man. You that king, you that queen, man. Take that first wise move and dominate everything. Man, I hope y'all got something out of this. Stop living in fear. This Coleman, and I'm out, man.